So this is our Domaine La Tasque Syrah 2015. Now the Syrah vineyard, our Syrah vineyard was the first vineyard we bought. We bought it in 2011, but for the first few years we still sold the grapes to the Cave Cooperative because we were focused on improving the soil in the vineyard, the drainage, the farming organically, bringing some life back into the soil. So we focused on that before we actually made wine from it ourselves. Our first vintage from it was 2014. But one thing about this vineyard is that it produces very ripe, rich Syrah, but there's a good acidity to it, a freshness like you get in a Northern Rhone wine. And that's why it's a wine that really improves in bottle. As I said, this is the 2015. And it's hand harvested, 100% Syrah, de-stemmed. We didn't crush the grapes, so a lot of whole berries, just traditional fermentation with some pumping over at the beginning of fermentation, and then a long maceration to extract the flavor, but without not too harsh tannins. We tend to do the extraction at the beginning of fermentation when there's not lower alcohol, because alcohol is a solvent, and you can if you carry on extracting during the fermentation right to the end, you can get some harsh tannins, and we don't want that. So about 20% of it was aged in oak in second and third fill barrels. We don't want to oak the wine too much. We don't want to dominate the fruit. So it's got a little bit of that characteristic garrigue smell, which is like the wild herbs that grow surrounding the vineyards, the rosemary and the thyme. Slightly garrigue smell, but a sort of very rich, sort of plummy black cherry. A little bit of bay as well. It's very, very fragrant. Just after 3-4 years in bottle, it's just beginning to get that lovely sort of mature, plummy character as well. So it's got the rich fruit that you expect because there's lots of sun here. You get that lovely ripeness of fruit, but it's got that sort of seam of freshness and acidity that sort of lifts it, so it gives it a lovely balance. Now this wine, for the first 2 years it was in bottle, was really, really tight, and it really didn't, it was nice, but it didn't give the rich, the fruit was a bit hidden, but now it's absolutely à point, as they say in French, just absolutely spot on now. You can drink it now. It needs with fairly hearty food, either with lamb or with a really rich sort of mushroom risotto or something like that. So, something with a bit of richness that the acidity can cut through, or a nice cheese, like a good Comté or something. Cheers.
Thank you.
Right.